Excited that you're here to worship with us this morning on this absolutely gorgeous day. So we have a task that's not finished. Why don't you stand? We're going to sing about it.
Drives us to our knees, a need that undiminished rebukes our slothful ease. We who rejoice to know Thee, renew before Thy throne the solemn pledge we owe Thee to go and make Thee King.
We want to offer our sympathies to Larry Moss, lost his wife this past week. Funeral is tomorrow at 10. Is it 10? 11. Tomorrow, the funeral is here at 11 o'clock, so if you can make it, that would be great. We're doing things a little bit different order. The State Games of America is happening this week, and 6,000 athletes from all over the state, and pickleball is one of the venues. I've been doing the national anthem, and my wife, too, every morning, 2 different venues, 600 people from all over the country. I did play in mixed doubles with someone that I never met before, and we won a gold together, so it was amazing. It was amazing. We were down many times, but somehow we pulled it out. Anyway, I have to get back there because we're doing a little service there today. So I've been at the national anthem. I call myself the pickleball pastor of Grand Rapids. I gave a little tiny message already this morning, but we're going to have something more. So I have to be back by 11. So we got to rock and roll here. So, you know how I just blather on sometimes? You know? Not this morning. All right, here we go. So we're in a series looking at how we spend our time and then asking, well, what does the Bible have to say about how we spend our time? And this morning's topic is the digital world. And certainly we all spend a lot of time with the digital world. My introduction to the digital world was in 1973 in science class. We put together a circuit board or something. We had wires and diodes and things, and we attached them, and there were some blinking lights, and it didn't do anything. There was no game. It didn't add. It didn't subtract. I don't know what it did. I don't know why we were doing it, but I know it had something to do with ones and zeros, which is the binary code of the whole computer world. It wasn't until 15 years later that I got my first computer. It was a 286. If some of you remember that, a 286 with a 20 megabyte hard drive. The person said you will never need any more memory than that. Yeah, that's right. He was way off on that. My father, before that, had a Commodore 64. Anyone remember that? Okay. It basically typed and played. I don't know what it did. It really didn't do anything either. It made coffee or something. Probably your coffee maker has more computing power than that did. So the digital world has invaded our lives. There have been several revolutions in human history. One revolution was from hunting and gathering to planting crops. Then you could build cities. And that went on for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then several hundred years ago, we had what we called the Industrial Revolution, and that's where people could make machines, and machines made things, and now you can buy a pair of boots for $20, when probably before someone had a hand make them, they'd probably cost $1,000 in today's money, and that changed the way everyone lives and lived. And the next revolution is this digital age revolution, and we are growing up right at the very beginning of it. We have watched it. Especially those of you that are, let's say, my age or older, we have watched it from its infancy and all its Silicon Valley and all that stuff has happened in our lifetime, and we're really just at the very beginning of it. And everything today is starting to get smart, right? You got smartphones. I have a smart light bulb. It was $14.95. It's a smart light bulb. It by Bluetooth connects to my phone, and I can change the colors, I can turn it on, I can dim it from my phone. It's a smart light bulb. Light bulbs are smart. Soon everything on the planet, you're going to have smart, you're going to have a little sensor, and it's going to go off, and you're going to hear a voice saying, your shoelaces are coming loose, or your underwear should be changed, it's been 3 days, or stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable, and we're just at the very, 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 very smallest beginning. So, the question for us this morning is, well, what does the Bible have to say about the digital world? And the Bible doesn't say anything about the digital world because it didn't exist then. I mean, it'd be really cool, wouldn't it? You know, one of the things I thought about this week is what kind of phone would Jesus have? Would he have an Apple phone, an iPhone, or would he have an Android? I mean, what do you think? Or would he just go, you know what, I'm just having a flip phone? Something like that. You know, because, you know, at the feeding of the 5,000, you know, they came up and said, Jesus, the people are hungry, we have no food, and so on. You know, today he would just take out his phone and call Jimmy John's, and the whole thing would have happened, and there would have been no miracle. So there was no digital world at that time. So the Bible doesn't say anything specifically about the digital world, but it does say something about the things that the digital world is affecting. And I wrote down 5 little areas that I think the digital world it's affecting us in these areas. 1 is communication, 2, entertainment, 3, search or knowledge, number 4, influence, number 5, commerce. So the beginning, communication. Certainly the digital world has changed communication. We have text, we have email, we have Facebook, we have Snapchat, we have Twitter, we have phones, we have Skype. When my wife and I went to the Philippines back in 1981-82, we never once called home because it cost a fortune, so we wrote letters, and that took 6 weeks to get there and to get back. Now you can go anywhere in the world. You can Skype your people, you know, from Timbuktu, and, you know, hi, Mom, how you doing? And I see you're having cornflakes. Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, it's unbelievable, the communication that we can have. You can stay in touch with people. We taught kids back in the Philippines, and then we didn't see them for the next 17 years until we went back again. And now you can connect with people that you lost connections with. So we have this incredible connecting tool today. And on the positive side, we're staying connected with people. On the negative side, communication has become a static thing. You know when you turn it to a dial and you get nothing but static? That's what communication is like. It's so pervasive. It comes from so many angles that it's nothing but noise. If you post something on Facebook, my chances of me seeing it is slim. Because when I go to my Facebook, there's like 5 billion posts a day. And some of them are some cat sitting on top of a television and they fell off or something, you know, crazy like that. Or, hey, I boiled an egg today. See, I want to show the whole world my egg. You know, so there's so much noise out there with this communication that it seems like genuine communication, where people are actually talking about something significant, is becoming less and less. Well, what does the Bible say about communication or the tongue? I had you read this past week a passage in James chapter 3 where the tongue is compared to a fire, that it only takes one little flame and you can burn down the whole forest, and that's how powerful the tongue or how powerful communication is. In verse 9, with our tongue we give thanks to our Father in heaven, and with our tongue we speak bad words against men who are made like God. So with all this communication, we can be hurtful or we can be harmful. Ephesians 4:29 says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths or in your texts or on your Facebook page or in your tweets, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. Communication is not just informing everyone about every little thing that's going on in your life. It's about helping and building others up. Number 2, entertainment. We have streaming now. It used to be the wild invention of the day was videos. We had videos. You could actually rent videos and see movies whenever. You didn't have to wait till a movie came out. You can watch it whenever you want. And now we have streaming, and we have video games, and we have nonstop available entertainment via this whole digital world. And the Bible's not against entertainment. You go to a movie together with some friends, or you play a card game with some people. You watch some YouTube videos together, and you all have a laugh together. Sometimes entertainment brings us together. It's a break from the work that we do. The problem with the digital world is it becomes, one thing that the digital world does is it makes things available. It puts that everything right there for you, anytime, anywhere, and it's so cheap that anyone can do it. So it's always there. That's the blessing of it, but that's the curse of it too. So we have, for example, games everywhere. No matter where you go, you have a game on your phone. So if you're sitting there pumping gas, why not have a little game of euchre while you're there, or a game where you're shooting something. And I see people everywhere sitting there with their phone playing some game. They're at a restaurant, they're waiting for their meal with their spouse. They should be talking, but instead they're sitting there playing some game. It's so incessant. No one ever has a boring moment. No one ever has a moment where they have to actually just sit there and contemplate life. What is life really all about? Entertainment in small doses is a nice relief from the things and the stress of your life, just like a lot of drugs are. Codeine has some kind of drug in it, and it helps with pain, and when people have surgery and so on, then they need that kind of thing, and it's a good thing. But if you have it all the time, you become this addicted person, and you're using it to escape the issues and problems of life. And because it's so pervasive in our lives that we can become addicted to all this entertainment and watching movies, and you can go from one show to the next show to the next show to the next show, that you don't have to deal with the issues of your life. And we're using it as an escape, and then the little high that you get from that, you get sort of addicted to it. Next one, number 3. Search. I don't know really what to call this. Search or knowledge. Today, the word Google has become a verb. It's something that you do. If you don't know something, just Google it. If you need to fix something, go to a YouTube video. There's somebody that has done it, that put it on, shows you what you need and how to do it. Sometimes the exact part number, the exact issue that you have. If you want to learn about whatever topic you might be interested in, you can learn the shallow side of it. You can get a quick thing of it. You can get as in-depth as you want. You can see what all the controversies are. Today you hardly need to buy books. My book thing is my office over here has all these books that I've collected over the years and commentaries and so on. I rarely use them. What do I need a book? I got to find the book. I got to figure out where it is. I can just search it. It's all there. There's somebody that's written all kinds of stuff already about it. You don't need all these huge libraries, and schools are starting to be online, and it's just the beginning of all of that. The beginning of knowledge being available to everyone. You want to learn something, you can just go there. The Bible has something to say about that kind of thing. Proverbs, I had you read on Tuesday, Proverbs 4:23, be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life. So we have all this knowledge available to us, but that knowledge is affecting us. Your eye is the lamp of your body. When your eye is healthy, your whole body is full of light. But when it's bad, your body is full of darkness. Psalm 101. I will not set before my eyes anything that is worthless. On Thursday, I had you read Philippians. What kinds of things should we be searching and looking at? Philippians 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there's anything excellent, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about such things, or search out such things. Which leads me to the fourth one, which is influence. The problem or the thing that you have to be aware of, that when you search, you get on the internet and you start searching, you're looking for something. But as you're looking for something, there's a whole host of entities searching you. Right? It's not a one-way street. You're not just out there searching. There's all kinds of entities searching you. There's the cookie thing where they keep track of what you search for, and then they keep popping up things that relate to what you've been searching. And it's almost scary because you can search something. I remember I was looking for a passport, and I had to get a passport quickly last year. And so I went to the government page. This is the government page telling me what I need to do. And in the middle of the government page, somehow or another, these advertisers get their thing right in the middle of it. And I didn't know that this was an advertisement. I think this is part of the government thing. Like, as the government, we recommend you do this. It's an outside source, but we don't do it, so please go to them. And it wasn't at all. It just got put in there. So whenever you get on the internet, whenever the kids get on the internet, you're searching for stuff. You're like in control. I'm in control of what I see and what I look at, right? Because I want to think about things that are excellent and praiseworthy. I want to think about things that are honorable, right, and true. I want to be true to Philippians. But while I'm doing it, all these influences and things are coming my way. And there are people staying up late at night trying to figure out how to get to you, how to sell you something, how to influence you in this direction or that direction. It's not a neutral place. The knowledge world is a battleground today. So you have to be very much aware of that. Romans, one of my favorite passages that relates to this is Romans chapter 12. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. We're not to conform to the world. We're not to buy into what the world is trying to sell us. But we have to be discerning to see what God's will is for our lives. Okay, the last one, commerce. Commerce. The internet, or the digital world, what it does is it makes things easily accessible. It makes it cheap, and it makes it easily accessible. You can assess the internet. If you have a phone, you can just go right on. You can search. You can talk to people. You can connect with people. You can inform people. You can find out information. You can be away from your home and you don't know the directions. You just plug it in and it tells you what to do or where to go. I mean, it's on and on and on. There's an app for everything. And all these things are trying to make our lives simple, but they're also trying to, like I said, trying to grab us and take us into their vortex and make whatever they're selling and whatever they're about part of our world. And one of the biggest ways that all of this is being used is to sell us stuff. A couple months ago, I got to know somebody that works in the shelving industry. Yeah, I work in the shelving industry. I said, oh, really? So, I mean, what is that? I don't even know. What does that mean? You sell people shelves? Well, I am in charge of the Amazon account. Can you imagine that? The Amazon shelving account must be, I mean, I imagine, miles and miles of shelving here because Amazon has everything. It's unbelievable. I think it would be embarrassing if we all had to bring every single empty Amazon box that's sitting in our closet or in our garage or wherever you throw your boxes, right? It'd be like, that's a lot of boxes. And whatever it is that you want, whatever small, silly thing that no one has ever even heard of, you can buy it. It's right. If you're a Prime member, it can be to your house in 2 days. Okay? So the internet and all this digital stuff has made this the access to things. And part of it is the way things ship. I mean, you buy something from China for $1.50, and it includes shipping. But it's the digital world that can figure all this stuff. You people buy all this stuff, we put it on a ship, and we send it. And then we divide the ship cost by everything, and it's 5 cents for shipping, for this thing. But it's this whole digital world that makes all this logistic stuff happen so that we can buy all this stuff. If I wanted to invest in something, I would invest in storage, because people cannot store all the stuff that they have. Stuff upon stuff upon stuff upon stuff. And now why? Why do we have all this stuff? It's because it's cheap. It's because it's available, and because the whole process is very addicting. When I come home and my wife says, "There's a box for you," and it's not like it's a surprise. Although, how many of you got a box and you don't even remember what you ordered? Yeah, I wonder what this could be. And it's almost like your birthday again, right? Oh, yeah, I ordered this 4 days ago and I already forgot what I ordered. It's unbelievable. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. We have so much stuff that we can't even remember what we ordered 2 days ago. Stuff. But that little endorphin, they've done studies, and you get this little endorphin feeling when you open the box, and it's like, and it's a little high. And, it lasts about 5 minutes. So then you put it away and go, wow, that was cool. What else can I find? And you're right back there searching on Amazon to see what it is that you can find. So it's this addicting thing. It's almost like some kind of a drug that we get addicted to. And it's not the thing. We don't need the thing. We don't need this stuff at all, but we need that feeling of whatever that feeling comes from. Well, the Bible has some things to say about that. Matthew 6, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on the earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, that's where your heart is too." So it's about our hearts. We're losing our hearts in this process. One of my favorite Proverbs is Proverbs 30, verse 15, 16. "The leech has twin daughters." You know what a leech is, right? You go into a pond and the thing is stuck on you and it's sucking the blood out of you. Okay? "The leech has twin daughters named Gimme and Gimme More." This is from the Message. "Three things are never satisfied. No, there are four that never say, 'That's enough, thank you.'" I like that. That's enough, thank you. Amazon, that's enough, thank you. I don't need any more. Okay? But you see, it's addicting. More. We're never satisfied. So the digital world is this great new world that's coming to our world, and yet it's a scary world. And we're just at the beginning of it, and it has so many addicting type qualities to it. It really is, there's nothing new under the sun. It's just made the process of getting things and connecting things easier. And so if you're going to connect well and do nice things, it's just going to help you do that. If you're going to connect poorly and do poor things, it's just going to help you succeed at that too. So we have to be aware of these things and not let the process or these things take control of our lives. Now, one way to deal with it is to be really negative about it. And, at my age, that's what people my age and above tend to do. Everything new is bad. Back in our day, we used to do this, and that's a whole lot better than what you people do today. That's kind of every generation has always done that. Back in the day we did this, and this is a better way of life, and now look at these people, they got their phones, and da-da-da-da-da-da. We should just ban all phones and get rid of everything and go back to, the way it used to be. The rotary phone, that's the way it should be. One phone in the middle of the house, excellent, great, wonderful. How do you get on the internet with a rotary phone? It's hard. These revolutions that happen in our world happen. The Industrial Revolution happens, and you're not going to put it back in the box. We're not going to start making our shoes by hand anymore. And we're not going to stop this digital world from happening. It's going to happen. So how do we positively embrace this new world that is coming our way? It is possible. When Jesus ascended into heaven, and he before he went into heaven, he gave his disciples this commission: go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them into the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching people to obey everything I've commanded you, and I will be with you. Okay, he gave them what is called the Great Commission. And they succeeded incredibly wildly. Christianity went all over the world. And a few of the reasons why it went all over the world was because the Romans had sort of settled a peace that was unprecedented. And so because of that peace, people could go. Because of the persecution, people had to go. And because of the one world language that the Greeks had settled, you could write something in Greek and everyone would understand it. So Paul could go, and he could go on these missionary journeys, and he could actually speak to people. And the roads that were built by the Romans were as such so that you could actually travel more easily. So, in other words, these revolutions, these things that were happening in the world actually helped the gospel go forward. So our challenge as Christians is, okay, this new world is coming upon us that's got all these negative things, but everything does. This is just helping you do whatever negative thing you wanted to do quicker and faster and better. So we still have to be people who are trying to follow God's will for our lives and trying then to look at this digital world. How do I communicate in this world in a Christian manner? How do I do this to honor God? How do I make this thing honor God? How do I search in a God-honoring way? What protections do I need as I go on the internet? Because it's a battleground place. How do I protect myself from all these people that want to sell me stuff and get me addicted to that whole thing? And how do I influence the world around me for Christ? How do I go and make disciples on this new pathway, in a way, that has been provided for us? Parents, those of you with little kids and so on, it is going to be a challenge. This whole thing, we're just at the very beginning of it. I mean, 10 years from now, it's going to be radically different. 20 years from now, it's going to be unbelievably different. 100 years from now, we won't even be able to recognize this world. So be diligent in trying to follow Christ in this new path. Next week, we're going to conclude our series by looking at church. We spend some of our time, at least, at church. Let's pray together. Lord, it's an unprecedented time that we live. We're hardly aware of it. We're just living our lives. But the incredible changes that are happening and the things that are influencing how we do family and how we connect and how we do friendship and how we do marriage and everything and how we do church, all of it. It's being affected. And sometimes we're going with the flow. We just go with what people are doing. Sometimes we resist, we fight. And sometimes we're not even aware of what's going on. We're just in this big river, and we're just going down it. Lord, help us to be discerning. Help us to hold your word and search your word. How does this apply to our new world? That you are the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. How do we apply that connection to you, to these new things, so that as we go into this new world, a new paradigm, a new world, that we go as ambassadors of your love. The old story of your grace through your Son on the cross is still relevant for this new day. Help us to be people that make it so. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, we're going to have a song.
Yep. Why don't you stand and join us as we sing, Speak, O Lord. So at Pathway, we have a